Hi, it's me for pros. So, I decided I was too excited to just film the tour, than to wait for 200 subscribers. So this is shortly after I got my tripod. I cut my finger somehow, like a paper cut, while I was opening it. I guess I was a bit too excited, but I'm going to be doing a sketchbook of this one. It's January 16th to March 2024. So this is an old one, but I was skimming through it earlier and it was pretty good. It was pretty good. So I do have several types of sketchbooks. So before I had these, I would just take printer paper, stacks of printer paper, draw on them, and then staple them together. This is when I did like comics and things, but I also have more than a few of where I did like practice stuff and then I just stapled it together. I had printer paper. I would go and rip out pages from like these little sketchbooks we had lying around the house, the little kid ones. So you can see it's like ripped on the edge because I was crazy about it. I wanted my paper. Then sometimes we got like a stack of notepads, ideally for school, but I like grabbed all of them almost and just started drawing in them. And I remember some of my family got mad at me because they needed it for school and I was using all of them. This is actually kind of a blast from the past. This is a character from another story that I'm thinking of working on at some point. It's a world where like there are heroes and villains and whatnot, and rarely you can get a power. So these are a group of people that have powers. This is Inferno. He has fire. I think I did like a redesign of him later. This is the Sleeper. She can go invisible. She uses like sleeping gas to knock you out, so she'll sneak up from behind. This is Thew. Can't remember why I named him that, but he has the power to relax or tense muscles at his command upon touching someone. He can do it from a distance, but it knocks him out when he does that, so he has to not do that as much. But yeah, when I didn't really have sketchbooks when I was younger, I would just grab anything I could. This is another one. So generally I like Strathmore. That's my go-to. I like two different sizes. This one, medium-sized, it's good for when I want to just like draw big pages. This is my 9 by 12 inch. And I got some object heads. I love object heads. They're pretty good design. And then these ones are really good because they're just like easy to hold. I have one for plein air sketching, but ooh, that's my siren stuff. Oh, this one was a good one too, dang. We're doing some color studies here. I was trying to get practice of some painting. And then if I I wanted to look at an artist later, I would just write their name in the corner. It's like acting, how to make characters act different, more color stuff. Sometimes you don't use every page in the sketchbook, and sometimes they're duds, but that's fine. This was January. Can't remember what I was doing here. It was something. I was doing some thumbnails. This one I was doing, Marco Bucci was talking about merging shapes, and so I did these two off of that. This was another Marco Bucci thing video. I can't really remember. And here I am trying to, sometimes when I'm doing stuff, I'll try to like write little things to keep me from not going crazy. So I was like, draw the idea, don't focus on how cool it looks. Picture clearly their emotion. I remember with these ones, I saw gulper eels. I saw this lady, she was talking about like how creepy they are because they have a big mouth and they have weird stuff. And I thought they were really cute, so I decided to do them justice by drawing them. I really like this face. This one's my favorite out of all of them. I really liked the angle I did. I think that was the best one out of the time. A little seal. Again, some pages are just like notes on things for me to study later. This is me sketching out the layout of one of my comics. I worked on it for a while. It's been off and on, but yeah. And I remember I was having some struggle here. Do like this couple thing, and I did that. I'll do that whenever I get like art block kind of thing. This is another story I made. So it was like in this world, it's kind of No Guns Life in a way. People are only allowed a certain amount of augmentation to their bodies because a long time ago they pushed the augmentations a lot, and to the point like they were mostly machines, and those people went crazy and there was a whole war involved. He was involved in it. But yeah, he was in the war and he got caught in an explosion, so his face got burned, he lost his arms, a whole bunch of damage to him. His arms are the only part of him that are like robotic. I can't remember if maybe he got new lungs. I don't think I settled on that one. I really like this one. It was like a gradient of pencil. I love gradients, I just don't use them as much. He's a mercenary, and he works with another mercenary. Her name is Natalia. It's her brother. That's the other mercenary. I forgot what. Nikita. They're both Russian. Not him. Ooh, this one I was doing some comic pacing practice. So timing. I can't remember which video I was doing this from. But, you know, you can have a little bit of detail in a big box and then a lot of detail in a small box, and because of the pacing of the amount of detail you put in it, you can make it slow or fast, depending. It's not just the box. This was a throwaway comic. I didn't like it. Some Jin Kim studies. Did a couple of those. January 23rd, at this point, I was working on, like, head and face anatomy. I was struggling a little. Oh, yeah, I was struggling with the mouth. I remember that now. A little bit with the eye socket as well. Got some gesture. That's a common theme in all my stuff. I was following this one with a video. Yeah, I remember. It was monkey stuff. I was getting bored with gestures again. Ooh, I really like this one. Sometimes I do little animation sketches, and I really liked that one. I liked the flow of it. Some more sketches. I think I was following along with the video in some of these. Oh, Glen Keane and Jin Kim. For some, I think this one was a Glen Keane study. 26, we're doing more gestures, more armless people. This one was an Ahmed Aldori video. I can't remember which video it was, but I do remember that I thought it was cool, and I did some little skeleton ones. I like that one. I was studying the jaw movement here, how it swings open. I was having a really hard time with it at that point. And again, some art block. I didn't like a lot of these. Some more Jin Kim studies. Body language. Ooh, I like this one. This was a favorite of mine back then. By January 30, I was working on hands plus emotion, and for this instance, I was looking at Klaus. It was a Marco Bucci video I think I was looking at, and he also had pictures of Klaus, which I think I was referencing some of these stuff from. And then I decided to have characters use their hands. I really like this one. Again, with the gradient, I don't do that much. It was kind of an at the time thing, but yeah, I should try that again. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. 31st, we got I don't like math. I don't remember why I was doing it at that point. I can't remember what I was trying to figure out, but it's not a sketchbook if it doesn't have math written in it somewhere, I guess. This one, I was reading Kaiju number 8, and I was looking at the blood splatter and how it was stylized. Line-Decker Shape Study. This is by February. I was trying to figure out how to keep things simple, so we're getting into a lot of shape stuff. Needs to be readable. So with shapes, I figured out generally what you'll do, at least what Marco Bucci did in his shapes, is that they're made out of C, S, and I lines. I believe I've talked about this before. C lines, a little bit curved, S are like rhythm lines, and then I's are straights. And if you can combine them together, you keep it really simple. And it's very pleasing. Again, this is my comic. I was doing another layout for it. I liked, at one point I was looking at TV Choi's, one of her drawings, and I liked the lake shape. How this side was simpler and this side was complex. It was like straight and a curve. So I drew it. This one, I was building up pictures out of shapes. So these two, I think, were references, and I really like them. I just don't know what I was doing here. Again, I was getting bored. Shape study thing. CSI lines, or in this one, SCI lines. Big, medium, and small, asymmetry, and symmetry. I think I spelled asymmetry wrong. And then it was... Oh, I was also focusing on shape and how it influences something, right? So square is generally seen as strong, triangles are like pointy, circles are round and soft. They're very inviting. Negative shapes as well. Those are the shapes in between. So like, my fingers are touching, and that little gap right in between my fingers is essentially like a negative shape. It's a little triangle. So in between your main shapes, there's also negative shapes, and it's like you also have to make those look good sometimes too, but that's a little too much for me to think. I honestly haven't thought about it in a while. Off to the side, I had artists that were good at shapes that I thought were really good, and I liked their shapes. So I remember when I would go out on studying something, generally I would study it for like a week or a month, or I'd focus like that much time on it. And I would try to figure out like what I need to do to make good shapes. What is that, right? And then I wrote down artists that I thought were really good at those. And then I would study their shapes and how they did it. And I would pick up a little bit at a time. Oh, yeah, here. It says, important they have the qualities of the shape, not necessarily the shapes themselves, right? So what are the qualities of these shapes? Well, triangles are sharp, they're pointy, they have extreme tapers, and they're very angular. So it's not necessarily that you need a triangle shape and they're just these things. Square, 90-degree angles, abrupt changes, structural. Circles are rounded, soft, curvy, and smooth. That's cool. I kind of forgot about that. Oh, right. So Nikita and Neil work together to help these, I think it's like 3 kids. I believe it's 3 kids. And I can't remember exactly what circumstances I was going to do with it. They're trying to get these kids somewhere. And the 2 boys really like Nikita. And Lily ends up, she's the more mature out of the group, out of the little group of kids. But she gets really attached to Neil. And originally, he's all like, I just want to do my job and get out of here. But he becomes like more attached to them as well. Kind of a dad figure. It's really cute. I like it. Some more of my Happy Killerine comic that I'm still working on. So this one. You guys remember when I showed a picture of 2 characters of mine. I'm gonna show a picture on screen here. But this is them. This is their story. I have a whole slight world kind of thing with it. A vague world building with it. She is... I am forgetting every single word that is supposed to be coming to my mind right now. Ambulatory wheelchair user. She got in an accident when she was a kid, caused some damage to her spine, so she can walk around a little bit, but not very well, so she uses a wheelchair. And I'm forgetting his name. Actually, she says his name. Nope, other than that, his last name is Adair. I don't remember what his first name was. I kind of forget all the names of my characters, so. But, yeah, it's just a little cute thing between them. He's like a leader of a group. There's some hero stuff involved. Again, the world itself wasn't really built, but the characters kind of were. This is a tip. This is an old time tip. If you don't like what you drew below it, just slap a piece of paper or a postcard on it. Post-it note. This one, I was doing a couple character designs. The original story that I thought up with this was just kind of dark and very, very sad ending. And I don't particularly, even though I have some dark themes in my comics a lot of the time, I didn't know if I really wanted to go that route, so... Oh my gosh, okay. This one is like my most favorite drawing of all time. It's like she has one, it's like that one time I got all of my shapes and everything. Oh my goodness, I haven't drawn like this in a while. Holy frick. What skills have I lost? But it's like she's slightly leaning back. I took a picture for that. I did a reference. And then she like leans forward so you can feel that motion in that turn, and there's this dark shape behind. I loved it. So good. And then I did some more knight sketches of her. Like she's a one-armed knight, but she's still pretty cool. Oh, this is when we watched Goblin Slayer Season 2. Again, sometimes I draw like a knight and I get sucked into the idea of armor, so I draw a whole bunch of armor. And we watched Season 2, and, I was struggling again, messing around with things. I think this one was an Ahmed Aldori reference or inspiration. That was kind of cool. I like it. More gestures, Force Friday stuff. This was way in the time I was getting to it. This was another little side story. Not much to that. I really like that picture. I thought it was cute. I don't draw like that all the time. Today. This was another story. You will see a theme in my sketchbooks. I remember one time my mom for Christmas got me like a stack of 5 of these sketchbooks. The big ones too, the 9x12s I showed earlier. And I ate those up in like a month. All 5 of them, because I was just writing comics on them. But yeah, he's like another leader of a gang, essentially. He wears his helmet. Thought it was kind of cool. I liked his expression. Well, I like the movement in the fabric there. It's a little thing, but it's cool. I also really like this face. I really like the eyes. Right, with this one, I wanted to, like, take Rainbow Six characters, but, like, put them in tennis, because I was still kind of struggling a little bit with, like, art block kind of at that time. And I just drew Rainbow Six characters, so I didn't do anything with it. You may remember these two from a way, way old Instagram post. And yes, they're like a couple. Ooh, we're into robot stuff. Every time I look at a robot and I start drawing it, I go on the deep end. So, thought there'd be more. This one I was trying to learn cross-hatching for shading. So I did this Eliza study or copy, but I did it without her smudging. I tried to do it with just cross-hatching, and I really liked how it came out. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that one. I did that one later. Dang! Where did my style go? It's kind of like a shame sometimes when you look back on your old stuff and it's like, why don't I do that anymore? Right now, I'm focused a little bit too much on painting. So it's like, when I have a couple of subjects, like art principles or whatever, and I do focus on one for too long and I don't really touch the other things, I kind of feel like I start to lose some skills and I feel like I'm just kind of floating in this space. In instances like those, I kind of just have to try to do sketches and other things like that because it's fun. Got some more Glen Keane copies. Some more gestures. That's always fun. You will also see that as another running thing. Oh, little goobers. I always love drawing little monster dudes sometimes, and they're just the cutest little guys. And I feel like whenever I draw monsters, these little like goober dudes tell more with weight and line than I do with like all the other ones. Little knight, goofy chick with her knight. More vague gesture. I think this one was blind contour actually, so that's probably why it doesn't make sense. I was looking into painting. I was looking at like Cynic's painting video. So I was doing stuff like that. There's a line decor I studied. But this is, you guys remember my parallel storyline? This is another one. This guy, it's a side thing, it's not part of like the main story, but this guy, Sam, he has this power where if he gives someone a token, it will take away their nightmares, and if they like put it in their head, it'll take away their nightmares and he'll have them. And because of his life from when he was a child, most Parallel's life sucked. He will just give it to people and take the nightmares because he thinks that's what he's good for. He's been used a lot. And she's later his girlfriend. I think like he was protecting her or something, or he was working with her on something. So that's why he was living in her place. This is an Ahmed Aldori copy? Or Ahmed, I think. This is, he talked about how to pronounce his name. I think it was like that. Some more of my comic layouts. Ugh. I remember, oh, now we're into March. Yeah, so I was taking movie frames, but I was like distilling them down to 2 values. And I really liked that one. That was the sinking Titanic movie. And this was also the Titanic movie. And I couldn't read that one. I could dive with Wednesday movie frame. And I could barely read that one. But, yeah. This was me looking at some portfolios. Like I was thinking of maybe putting one together. Yeah, I can't remember actually what I was doing at this point. I was once again looking into shapes. This is when, so sometimes I listen to music. I listen to music a lot. And sometimes when I'm listening to them, I get these images that go through my head. I'm almost having like an animation going on in my head. And I'll have like characters that feel like they belong in that song pop up. And sometimes I like to design them. So I was going on another robot spree. This was I Really Want to Stay at Your House Cyberpunk song. And I did that picture. I'll put it up here. And this was just all the reference. and machinery stuff. Machinery's fun, I just don't do it much. So got some servo stuff. Bendable pipe thing. I was having some Pinterest copies. I don't usually pull up Pinterest. Most of the time when I pull up reference, I either take my own reference or I look it up on like Google or something. Or if I'm trying to look at like kaiju, for example, earlier today I was doing my surrealist painting. I just pulled up the moments in Pacific Rim where kaijus were like moving around to try to see the scale and stuff. So I don't usually use Pinterest. I feel like it's easy to get lost in Pinterest. Sometimes you can find some good stuff there, but also my other problem is that you can't find the original artist that made the art. It's always like reposted a bajillion times by someone else most of the time. So this was this guy I did. I really liked this sketch here. Sometimes I sketch in ballpoint pen, and when I sketch in ballpoint pen, it has to specifically be, I don't think I have one on me now, but it specifically has to be the click and unclick ones. If it's the normal ballpoint pens, they leak, and then I'll always get like smears of ink. And I don't want that, so I like the click ones. If you know what I mean. Comic strip. This one, I was practicing drawing a flower, but so this is like some preliminary sketches. I was trying to figure out how to like render a flower in marker. Marco Bucci, I was looking at mouths. I learned a lot when I did that one. Yeah, I remember I had a really hard time with imagining the mouth as like the muzzle. It was mostly like kind of stickers. So, took some reference, found some reference, did like a 3 angle. I really like that. This one, I was also starting to like focus on the fact that when your jaw opens, your skin stretches. So it's not like, sometimes you'll see an anime or something, they're talking, but their head, it's like their jaw and their head doesn't move, which is fine. But if you want it to look more realistic, you have to acknowledge that the jaw opens. Principles of design. Emphasis, contrast, rhythm, balance, unity, proportions. Oh, I was looking at different lighting. Direct light causes hard shadows, diffuse light, soft shadows, gradations on form. Ambient occlusion, where light gets trapped. I remember when I was having a really hard time with lighting and color theory. I remember Marco Bucci was one of those people that really helped me with color theory. Doing some more light practice. Short little comic. Ooh. This one was a Force Friday video I followed along with. It was their video where they were looking at Beauty and the Beast. So this one is when his arm was like stretching up and turning around, and I had this arc going through, and these darker pencil lines are where the forces were, like the applied force was. This is a lot of fun. More gesture, because I was getting bored. And that's the end of this one. I'll warm up on the back. And then I lost the cover somewhere. I don't remember where that one went. But yeah, we also have this one. I will say, my first time doing sketchbook tour, it's really hard sometimes to like find things to talk about and not just be like, yep, I drew that long time ago, and have something to add on to it. But yeah, I don't know. Thank you for watching. I hope this was a lot of fun. This was fun. I hope you maybe learned something from it. At least it was entertaining, in the least. And I will see you next time.